Internet, welcome to the Collective Arcana, a channel all about tabletop gaming. So today I wanted to talk about something maybe a little uncomfortable, but I've noticed in a lot of like Facebook groups and stuff, and Twitter, that a lot of people want to play D&D and they follow all of these, channels and things like that, but they've never actually played themselves, and usually it's because of anxiety. They're scared and they just never take the plunge into it. So I wanted to do a video about this because I had that same problem and I didn't play for years, and I really regret that now. So I just wanted to talk about it and maybe talk about like what to expect and kind of how to approach all this so that so you don't hold yourself back anymore. So I just want to start by saying I'm not using the word anxiety lightly. I've struggled with this most of my life to a very severe degree. I won't get into it, but I had a legitimate panic disorder that I still struggle with, but I don't think I'm the only one in this community. I think a lot of us are very similar people. We're introverts and we're used to being called weird and just not really fitting in so well. I think a lot of us keep to ourselves, and D&D seems like the perfect fit for us to find each other, and it is. But the problem is, those things are actually what stopped us from trying in the first place, right? So, just want to talk about kind of the process with this. So there's a couple of ways to try this where you can kind of lower the stress level. The first thing you should probably consider is doing a one-shot. Don't commit to a full game. Just try it one time. Tell yourself, okay, I will try one game. I'll try a one-shot. And if you hate it, you don't have to play again. It's over. There's no commitment. You're not letting anybody down. Just, give it that one shot, right? So it's called a one shot. And you don't even have to play with people that you know. You can arrange something online, which for me, I probably, if I wasn't married to somebody who played D&D all the time and I was, just doing this on my own, I would probably feel more comfortable playing online where I could hide behind my microphone and stuff, which is really ironic that I'm saying this on camera now, but I've come a long ways. This is my whole point, honestly. I would have never been on a camera before D&D. It's crazy what can happen. But anyway, I think playing online gives you a little security, security blanket. You have the power to just log off if it's going really bad, which maybe it's a little rude, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you're having a panic attack or something, But that's true with a live game too. If it's really bad, you can get up and leave. You have the power. You're not trapped. You can leave at any point. You probably won't want to, which is the good part. But worst case scenario, this is how you get through stuff. You plan for your worst case scenario, and is that honestly the worst case is that you just have to leave, which isn't actually that bad. So just focus on that, because the best case scenario is that you're going to make lifelong friends that you tell these crazy epic stories with, and your whole life can literally change. Like I said, I'm in front of a camera right now, which is bizarre. If you knew me before this, then you would have never believed it. I'm not going to pretend that it's not awkward. Role-playing is awkward. It's really weird. And, I've been playing for a year and I'm still a little uncomfortable with it. I'm pretty uncomfortable with it. But I trust the people at my table. And, I'll get there. It's a journey, but the fun outweighs the discomfort by far. And when I do put myself out there a little more each game, I feel good about it afterwards. And so, yeah, there's some discomfort, but there's reward for that discomfort. That said, you don't have to jump into a game with an accent or some, crazy concept character. You can just lay low. You can play a character that doesn't talk much. Be honest with your DM. Say, I'm not really comfortable with this yet, but I really want to learn. So maybe, don't put me on the spotlight right out the gate. I just want to see if this is for me. And, if you got a good DM, then they'll do that for you. If your DM says no, then you should probably not play with that DM. And, that's half the battle, is just finding, the right table to be at. And that might take some searching. My first game was awful. it was so bad. I hated it. Like, I didn't fit at that table. There was one person that I knew, Joey, shout out. He was awesome, super helpful. He helped me get my character sheet set up, and he's like my only comfort in that whole game. I don't know if I would have gotten through the whole session if I didn't have that one person, but I was so uncomfortable, and I didn't play after that. I let it destroy it, and I didn't play for a couple of years, I think. And I regret that so much, because I let that one table determine, whether or not I was going to play this thing I was really curious about. And I mean, I watched Acquisitions Incorporated, and like, I knew what D&D was, and I knew I wanted to play it, but I just thought, oh, I'm not the type of person who can play this game. So it is a little hard sometimes to find a game. It's a lot easier if you can get friends that you already have to play. The game that did end up sticking for me, I got to play with, friends. I had one friend, actually this game's still going, so I have one friend who's been playing, so that was nice because we had, a veteran player. And then the rest of us, we'd never played before. There's a lot of comfort in playing with a bunch of new people, and then also having someone who knows what they're doing, aside from the DM. So that was a great setup for us. And if you can get a game of all new players, or mostly new players, that's really where it's at. I mean, it takes so much pressure off. And if you can't find a game, our local, like if you look on Meetup, our local shop has, games for new people, or for all women, or, like all sorts of different things. And the same thing goes for online. I know not everyone has that kind of option. We're really lucky with that. But there's an app called, or a website called Roll20, and you can play online there. And I believe there are a lot of Discord servers set up to find games. I mean, there's a ton of people out there just really looking for the right crew. I mean, there are other people with anxiety who are nervous about this. And there are plenty of DMs looking for players too. So your table is out there. Just don't settle for less. Don't take a place where you're not comfortable, Find a table that's safe, and if they're not safe, then you get to leave. Like, you have the power. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. So just leave if they're shitheads. If you're uncomfortable about the newness of everything and how it all works, I mean, it's intimidating. The character sheet, the first time you look at it, it's a lot of information. Don't play a magic user like I did. That just makes it worse. But your DM wants to help you. Like, they will, whoever they, whatever players you have at your table, everyone's willing to help each other. In like the game I was telling you about, we've been playing for a year now, and still, like, every game, somebody, usually me or someone else, will say, I'm sorry, can you explain this to me again? I don't remember how this ability works. I don't remember what dice to roll. And they don't get mad. Like, it's a game. It's fun to help each other, and it feels good to help each other. So don't hesitate to ask for help. You don't have to know everything the first day you show up. And we'll do some videos on the basics of the character sheet and all that stuff, and I'm sure there's a ton of videos like that out there already. But you don't have to be an expert on your first game, and you won't be an expert on your 100th game. It's a never-ending learning process, and that's half the fun of it. So there's not as much pressure there as I think we put on ourselves, we being the people with anxiety. I've also noticed, like with our game shop, you're allowed to just go watch a game. So that might be helpful. Or if your friends have a game, just say, hey, can I just like sit in and watch? And they might say no. They might not be comfortable with it. But with our game shop, they say like anyone's allowed to watch your game. And that's a really cool way to see like firsthand what it's like. But typically most D&D games who are looking for players will say like, yeah, absolutely, come watch. Come see if it's what you want to play. Like, see if it looks fun to you. Get an idea of it before you go into it, so you're not going into it blind. Like, that's an option. And again, there are plenty of YouTube channels who do gameplay videos. Like, you can join in their sessions right there, just watch them, and they'll do the whole thing start to finish. And maybe not Critical Role, because, you know, professional voice actors and all that stuff, that's not realistically what a game is like. But you can look at real people playing. I love Critical Role, don't get me wrong, but it's not, you're not expected to perform at that kind of level. They are professional actors. So don't put your standards up there, because that will also create anxiety. It's much more laid back than that in real life, and there's a lot of like inappropriate jokes and cussing and all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's just hanging out with your friends. It's not quite a production usually. You have to remember that's a show. So it's, I wondered if maybe people are putting the bar up that high, and then that's why they never try it. No one expects you to be at that level, especially on your first game. I'm not going to make a huge long video about this. I just wanted to give you a little pep talk. Really want to encourage you to do this. Don't let, you know, anxiety rob you of this. I know for me, you know, my panic disorder robbed me of a lot of really good years of and experiences that I can't get back. Even with D&D, I wish I lost so many years. I mean, I've been with my husband for almost 10 years now, and I've only been playing D&D for a year. I mean, D&D was his whole life, and I'm just now getting into it, and I wonder like how many more like crazy games we could have had together and with our friends back home before we moved, and I have a lot of regret about that, and I just hope that, you know, I can prevent some of you from putting it off the way I did. Fear is, it's a weird thing. It's the concept of it is actually a lot scarier than the actual, you know, worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario comes from doing nothing. The worst thing that can happen is that you don't play and you wonder about it for your whole life, and then maybe one day you try it and you look back and you just are full of regret. That is the worst case scenario. So the worst that can happen if you do try it is you don't like it, and then you don't have to keep spending all of your time wondering about it, and you can move on. There's really no like downfall to this. I mean, let's say you get to a table, worst case scenario, everybody's mean to you and they laugh at you and they point their fingers and they're like, you're ridiculous and not full of this. Get up and leave. Like, don't talk to those people again. Easy. Like, I think we forget that's an option, you know. You never have to tolerate that. It's a game. So I really hope that you try it. Do a small party. Do like 3 players and 1 DM. You can do things to make this very easy, low risk, simple thing just to try it out. And then once you try it out and you get with the right people, you will be hooked. And you will probably have 2 games like me if you can. And maybe you'll go really crazy and start a YouTube channel about it. Anyway, just take a chance, give it a shot. That way you know for sure, and you don't have to keep wondering about it. I think you'll do great, and you'll have a lot of fun, and you're gonna just be so grateful that you know, put yourself out there a little bit. It's not easy, but it's the risk is worth the reward. So good luck, happy gaming, hope you get a natural 20s, and we'll see you next time.